Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic, truth and regret. So I was going over something in my head. And we all know that when we talk about regret or players that might not have wanted to leave, we always bring up Hollywood Brown. And for good reason. I mean, right now what's highlighted is the offense. The biggest detriment of this team has been the offense, but the most exciting part about this team has been the offense. So I get a lot of people's trepidation to go anywhere else outside of the offense. But there's one player that I think even now regrets leaving Baltimore, and I don't blame him for leaving. I think that he's been outstanding away from Baltimore, but I think that what he was saying and what he said about the team rang true. And I think that in this new scheme, defensively, he would shine. And the name and the person I'm talking about is Matt Judon. And a lot of y'all remember, because there's a lot of fans that were saying that he was not worth the money. He looks worth the money in New England. He looks like he's worth every dollar, every dime, every penny. But hear me out. I was going over it and I was thinking, there were certain players that spoke up about certain things about the team. Matt Judon was one of them. And he kept saying, because of the style of play, he wasn't, allowed almost to get to the threshold of like a 10 sack season and stuff like that. And the amount of responsibilities that were on his plate. And it took away from his effectiveness of having more game-stopping plays. And we've seen his growth, maturation, his development, and his absolute potential unlocked in New England. But my thing is, even though he's in New England, I don't think he wants to be there. Of course, he's doing everything to get players to come there because he still wants to win. Of course, he's going to be like that because he's a competitor. You already know he's of the highest look when it comes to competitor. Matthew Judon wants to win. And now that, we've seen what their quarterback is, their lack of weapons, their lack of offensive depth, it puts such a strain on the defense to be lights out every game. And I think when he looks back and says, man, only if we could have worked out a deal in Baltimore, I think it's almost like, man, I should be in Baltimore right now. I love my money, but I should be in Baltimore right now gearing up to try to win the Super Bowl. And I feel sorry for him about it because I was one of the people that did not want him to leave. I did not want Matthew Judon going nowhere. I told everybody, I said, in the defensive scheme that we were using at the time with Wink, he wasn't going to get the sacks that most teams and fans, even coaches, the league itself covet. Because we know everything is quarterback driven. So it's not so much about pass breakups, it's interceptions. It's not so much about QB pressures, it's about sacks. Because everything is related to how it affects the QB. Interceptions cause turnovers on the QB. Sacks can cause turnovers, or they could put the offense behind down in distance even further on third down, second downs, or whatever else, and mess up their effective play calling. So it's all QB driven. And we will never be able to see his maturation or his high level because of the way he was being used. But I'm one of the people here to tell you that he didn't want to leave. And I think that he regrets not being here. And I think that he knows that without a great quarterback, which I don't think Mac Jones is a good quarterback at all, that he's not going to go nowhere. He's just not going to go nowhere. Bill Belichick and a good defense can get you to the playoffs, but you'll get knocked out the first round almost every time. You might get lined up with somebody that's absolutely having an off day, so you might win the wild card, but then you'll get absolutely trounced or demolished or blown out of the water once you get past it. So, I was thinking about that today because everybody brings up the Hollywood Brown, well, for good reason. Because you have the crazy offense for the Ravens that is now looking to be boosted by not only outside weapons or other outside weapons, but with new offensive philosophies, a new offensive coordinator, a new way of playing offense for this team. And now when you see somebody, the first thing you say, because Lamar is the biggest magnetism, the biggest, drawing of views, clicks, or whatever on the team. So everyone's going to go to the quarterback side when it comes to that, or the offensive side of the ball. So when you look at it saying, man, Hollywood probably feels bad now because it's like he got what he wanted. But those guys, for us to have made the change, they had to do what they did. They were part of the reason for the change in Baltimore, and they will never, ever get the proper respect for standing up for what is and what was right. Matthew Judon did. Bye-bye Judon. Hollywood Brown did. Bye-bye Hollywood. Now the team has made necessary changes to itself so that those problems that were being addressed by those players are no longer a problem, but they moved away from them partly because of them speaking up about those problems. And and what's that old saying? No good deed goes unpunished. Hey! And it bites. I think Hollywood, in a system with Monken, in space, could be something special. I think Matthew Judon on a 4-down line with the safeties and the corners that we have on this team could be something special. And I think he knows that. I think, it's one of those things where you're right, but you don't have the power to change it. So instead of, fighting, you change your location. And they do things a little better. And you're like, well, see, look, at the end of the day, we've seen glimpses of what Hollywood could be. We've already seen what Matthew Judon is. That man has had, let me read this off to you real quick, because I'm going to show you how life changes and comes at you quick. He came in the league in 2016. I'm going to read off his sack totals. First season, 4 sacks. Second season, 8 sacks. Third season, 7 sacks. Fourth season, 9.5 sacks. Should have been 10. He was robbed one of them because I believe it got called as or roughing the pass or something like that. So he should have had 10.5 that season, but whatever. We're going to go over that. Okay? And they keep him on because they were like, well, we don't want to pay him the extended whatever, but he's too good to let him go, so we're going to keep it. Then he gets 6. He gets 6 the very next year. Right? Okay. Then he goes to the Patriots. Very first season under them, 12.5. And then you're like, well, okay, he peaked. You know what I mean? Then the very next season, which was last season, 15.5. And he was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. It goes to show that sometimes it takes people speaking up, because from a fan's perspective, a lot of fans just would rather these players shut up and play. But they're human. They're human. I can tell you for a fact Matthew Judon wishes he was here. I don't even have to talk to him to know that. If he sat down with a thing hooked up to him, a lie detector test, said, would you rather be in Patriot, would you rather be in New England, or would you rather be in Baltimore? He'd be like, Baltimore. It'd be the truth. But of course, he knew his worth. And he was worth every penny. Like, let's keep it a buck. Judon was worth every penny. And he's been one of the best defensive players in the entire league. And it's sad because it's like players that play like a Raven, which is Matthew Judon played like a Raven. He won't be compensated with a bowl because of it. Because he had to go to a different team to show his worth. When they should have already known his worth here. Changes should have been made to the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. And they took forever to do both. Am I saying both those coordinators are bad? No, I like Wink. I think Wink is a great coordinator. But it's sometime about who you have on your team. And Wink is going to blitz regardless who's on the team. It could be me, Ing Raven, Lunch Break Hot Take out there. He's blitzing every single one of us and John Harbaugh 60% of the time. And he don't care about the repercussions. It's not like, oh, we'll do it once or twice here or there, sprinkle it in. It's like, nah, that's our base. Blitzing is our base. So, I feel bad. Because at some point you're looking at it like, man, you wish players like that could stay here. Because I think this year we win. I think this year we get to the bowl and we win. And I think this is the year Lamar changes his jersey to 1. I think this is the year a lot of players get, we're not going to be able to keep all the players because a lot of teams are going to, because when a team wins, all the players get poached. All of them. OBJ most likely won't be here next year if we win because they might look at it and say, look, we don't want to pay him, that much at that advanced age, but another team might. And if we win next year, OBJ can literally say, now I'm just going after my money because he would have 2 Super Bowls underneath his belt. Think about it. You can't say nothing to him. He'll have a ring on each middle finger to show you exactly how he feels. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where I was looking at it and I'm like, man, I wonder if Matthew Judon misses being a Raven. And I'm telling you he does. He'll never complain about it. He'll never say it. But tell me what you think in the comment section. Who do you think misses being a Raven more? Hollywood Brown or Matthew Judon? And a lot of people are going to be like, dang, I forgot about Judon. He probably does because Judon represented what the Raven organization should stand for. Hard work. No excuses. Make plays. That's what he did. So, salute to Judon for being one of the guys that were honest. Salute to him for being one of the best defensive players in the league at this moment and at this time and for a couple of years now. And I wish he could be here. But tell me what you think in the comment section. Do you wish he could be here? Do you think he should be here? Do you think, part of the reason he wasn't coming back is because he spoke out? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section about it, okay? But once again, that's the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you all for watching. Y'all already know how we get down. We crack jokes and we have fun, but everything we talk about is rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps the channel. Please, if you're watching the videos, like the video. More people will watch. It helps the algorithm get us out more. It's just a big help to the channel. And if you would like to donate to the platform, also, bottom of the screen, QR code to a Cash App. It's how we do all donations. Name of it is The Wunderkind Show, and you can find it located in the description of every video that we do. And what's also located in the description of every video that we do is the Wunderkind Patreon. That's right. If you want behind the scenes, you want connection to me, questions from subscribers, sweepstakes, fantasy football, wait no longer. Become a Wunderkind patron by joining the Patreon, and you'll get all the access that I'm talking about, okay? But once again, this is the Wunderkind Show. The show is not just signing off, and as always, you guys know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yerp.